on to their friends, and I said sure, thinking, wow, with luck I might reach 50 or 60 people. That night I logged onto my server and found 100 emails in my inbox, mostly from strangers responding to the message I'd hammered out earlier. It boggled my mind. The power of the Internet! I had reached hundreds. The next day I realized something bigger was rising under me. At noon, I got a call from my old friend Nick Allen, whom I hadn't seen in 15 years. Somehow, he'd received the email and had felt moved to track me down and say hi. An hour later, I heard from Eric Nalder, the son of an American engineer whom I had last seen in Afghanistan 38 years ago. He'd received my email, I couldn't imagine how, and had felt moved to track me down and say hi. Then the phone rang again, a caller from Chicago, a hesitant voice. "My name is Charles Sherman." Did I know this guy? "I got your email." I couldn't place him. "You don't know me," he said. "Then how did you get my number?" "I looked you up on the Internet. Anyone can get your number." "I just wanted to tell you that your email made a lot of sense to me." I thanked him and hung up, but my heart was pounding. Strangers were reading my email, and anyone could get my phone number. What if the next caller said, "Hi, I'm with the Taliban"? What if Al-Qaeda knocked on the door? How long before some hysterical racist sent a brick through my window? I wanted to cancel my email. "I've reached enough people, thank you, that will be all." But it was too late. I couldn't withdraw the email. I couldn't issue corrections, amendments, or follow-ups. My email spread like a virus throughout the United States and across the world. My email accounts overflowed with responses, and the servers had to start deleting messages I had not read. Radio stations started calling, then newspapers, then TV. By the fourth day, I found myself putting World News Tonight on hold to take a call from Oprah's people. Inconceivable! I have no idea how many people received the email ultimately. A radio station in South Africa claimed it reached 250,000 people in that country alone. Worldwide, I have to guess it reached millions, within a week. What had I written, I wondered? Why the response? I barely had time to ponder these bewildering questions. The media seized on me as a pundit. The questions came at me like hornets pouring out of a nest, and all I could do was swing at them. From those first few insane weeks, I only remember Charlie Rose's skeptical face looming toward me with the question, "But Tamim, can you really compare the Taliban to Nazis?" I tried to tell him about that guy I'd met in Turkey, the one in the pinstriped suit who had wanted to convert me to his brand of Islam, and the horror that had filled me as I read his literature afterwards. But my long-winded digression wasn't appropriate for that or any TV show. I stumbled out of the studio, my mind reeling. What did I mean? The words I had used in that email were so brutal. The Taliban, I had written, are a cult of ignorant psychotics. When you think Bin Laden, think Hitler. I never would have used such language if I'd thought millions of people were listening. I'm sure I would have measured my language more carefully, but in that case, probably no one would have listened. And had I misspoken, would I now renounce my words? I decided the answer was no. 2 weeks later, my cousin's wife, Shafiqa, called to tell me there was going to be a memorial service for Ahmad Shah Massoud that night, complete with speeches, videotapes, posters, and more speeches. I should come. Massoud was the last credible anti-Taliban leader in Afghanistan, the man who put together the Northern Alliance, a towering figure, assassinated by Arab suicide bombers 2 days before the attacks on the World Trade Center. I admired Massoud, and his assassination disheartened me, but I was just too spent to go to his memorial service. "I need to rest," I pleaded. Shafiqa was silent for a moment. Then she said, "Listen, Tamim, we're all proud of what you've done. You have written a letter. That's good. But Massoud slept with only a stone for a pillow for 23 years. He scarcely knew the names of his children because he would not set down the burden of liberating our country. I think he was tired at times, too. I think you should be at his memorial service." I hung my head in shame and said I would be there.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.